Hey everybody, better late than never. It is time for the February Patreon Q&A video. Huge thanks to my Patreon supporters, particularly the people that have got on board recently. If you're not aware, this year I'm going full-time into YouTube. The Metalworks is gone for now, and I'm really going in sort of head first into making the best content I can and also getting out on as many bikes as I can. If you want to help support this channel, then please consider joining my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. I know there's lots of people who said, I should have joined a long time ago, but I didn't, and I've now taken the 10 minutes it took to set it up, so huge thanks, as I say, to those people. Two other things. One is I've got some, obviously, stickers in stock that you can order from my Etsy store, and I've also got some Ducati motorcycle chains, keychains, you know, made from a used motorcycle chain from a Ducati, that you can purchase if you don't wish to use Patreon. And the last thing is some sad news, which is the Mia, my cat, that you all know, has been in many of my videos, including the video that she saved me. Unfortunately, she was 17. She'd been a little bit unwell for a while, but she'd been at the vets and, you know, they said they had it kind of under control. And then she really started to lose weight, and in the past 2 months, she's been going downhill. We've been keeping a close eye on her, and basically she had lymphoma. And we had to have her put down yesterday because she was so weak. She was getting close to not being able to walk, and it was like, so we decided it was the time we had to do it. Not easy to do. I miss the little kiddie a lot, but it happens. She was 17. But anyway, on to brighter things. Reena is with me.
Hello. Time
to answer the questions. I want to try and do this as quickly as possible to not make this a really long video. So hopefully most people have only asked one question.
So the first question comes from DCA88BMX, who says, my first Q&A as a supporter. Got a couple of questions, spicy. 1, do you miss riding with Reena and Phil? And 2, are you and Reena going to dual vlog in the future? Keep up the good work with the videos.
Well, thank you for joining Patreon. And yes, I do miss riding with Phil and Reena. You know, I don't really ride with many people that much these days. Part of it is because I just really enjoy riding on my own, but also it's because that filming videos and stuff is so much easier on my own. I can stop when I need to, do what I need to do. And as for are me and Reena going to do any dual vlogs, I imagine we will. Just as we've always said, our time that we have together is quite short, and it would be wrong to make that about YouTube as well. Like, our time together is pretty much the only time that we don't do anything. But I do want to do, we should make some more. Yeah. We didn't get to do a tour up on the LXR. I forgot.
No, we didn't. Oh.
But yes, this summer I want to do some things.
Yeah. Next question is from Unpopular Opinion, who says, would you rather have legs as long as your fingers or fingers as long as your legs?
Hang on, legs as long as your fingers?
Yeah.
Or
fingers as long as your legs?
Fingers as long as my legs.
Oh, good God.
The tickles. I could tickle you from across the room.
No. Then you'd be really short as well.
No, you don't get the short legs, you just get long fingers. He said either or, not both.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Roger Palmer says, how long is yours?
Depends on day of the week. But normally on a Tuesday, it's at least a yard.
I don't get this.
I don't know what it is either.
Ivor George says, do you still hang out at Loomies or do you have other hangout places? I'm riding over from Heidelberg, Germany for the Festival of Speed long weekend. Would be good to see you and Reena around.
I don't really go to Loomies that often anymore unless I'm meeting someone there. That's more due to the fact that I just don't have a lot of time to ride. I know people think that YouTubers do the thing that you see us do, but the reality is I ride less than I ever have, pretty much, because the rest of the time I'm working on the videos to make them as good as I can. If it was the old days where you could just film and just squidge it together and then spit that video out and people were happy with it, that'd be great. But unfortunately now, if you're not, you know, spending multiple hours on each video making sure it's perfect, people don't watch. So no. However, Festival of Speed, that is one of the things I would like to go to this year, and I know you want to go to it, so we might be at the Festival of Speed. So if we are, in fact, we should maybe commit to that and say we should make sure that we go to the Festival of Speed this year.
Yeah.
We'll work that one out, but yeah, let's say pencil in, we will be at the Festival of Speed, and we can just let people know that we're there, and then, you know, maybe we'll just choose a time that we'll meet at some place for half an hour and then we'll go off and do our own thing. I don't know.
Sounds good. Alan Waters says, if you had to be one animal which isn't a human, which would it be?
A humpback whale. My favourite animal in the world is a humpback whale. They're super cool, and they're chill, and they're friendly, and they're clever, and they can also swim through space.
What?
Space whales. Think about a whale just doing its thing going through space. Although it would be silent, obviously. By the way, just to explain, we built, well, not I didn't, this shared house, obviously, this is one of the shared rooms. We built a bookcase in here to put stuff up, and I was like, that's a much better background than my room. So we're now filming in here.
Yeah.
So we can have discussion videos on the sofa.
Yeah.
No jokes.
No. Spondig D says, hi Spicy and Reno, are you both good and well? This is my question, by the way. Should cut time down a little long.
Thank you. And yes, we are well.
Yes, we are well.
Thank you.
Cameron, aka Vetrotech, says, hello both of you. Never done the Q&A before due to not knowing what to put, but if you were to live in a different country or place, where would it be?
If we're going to assume this is like money no object, we've I don't know, say we've won the lottery and we can go to and live in any country we wish to. I know where Reena would like to go. I don't know if you'd want to live there.
No,
though.
I wouldn't want to live there, but I would like to visit there.
And that would be Japan.
Yep.
I'd like the idea of living in Canada just because of the space. The snow 6 months of the year is a bit crap, so maybe somewhere in America where they don't get the snow, but you have all that space. Because, man, this country is just
maybe
so...
like a ranch or something.
Maybe. Or even Australia. Basically, space. Lots of space and not many people and pretty countryside. And, yeah, actually, Australia would be good, although you don't like spiders.
As long as we're away from the giant speedies and the scary things, then...
What about angry wombats?
Maybe if you give them food, they might become happy.
Well, there we go. So, a few places.
Tim Course says, hi Spicy, not sure if you've been asked this, but wondered if you were considering riding / reviewing some of the so-called A2 bikes around the 300 to 400cc margin, like the GS 310R or MT03, to compare to the LXR 380. Loving the content, keep up the good work.
I have ridden a fair amount of A2 bikes.
Yeah.
I've ridden maybe 8 A2 bikes. I mean, Derek's technically A2, I think. There's been some... Remember, there's also been 250s and stuff. Specifically those two, though. The Yamaha has been difficult because I need to work out a dealership to do that with that has one available. And the BMW is, yes, it's one of the bikes I'm planning to do this year. But I don't know exactly when that'll be. I'm currently, at the moment, I've got a few things lined up. We're just waiting on the weather, and then I'm going to get on with those. And then as I get into my stride, I'm also then going to be visiting other places and grabbing random bikes here and there. So there's going to be a lot of reviews coming. So the BMW is almost guaranteed, yes. The Yamaha, I don't know yet.
Jakey UK says, hello Spicy and Reno, are you planning long trips or tours in the coming year or two? Or where would you want to go when you finally do?
Not planning these things, as people always ask me, well, when are you going to go travelling? It's like when I can afford to pay the bills I have now and then have all the extra... Like, if you can get a couple of thousand people to join the... Well, actually, a few extra 100 people to join the Patreon, that it would be possible to do that. I would be interested in going some trips, seeing some places. They must be fairly close to Ride, so probably some of France I wouldn't mind going to, just to see some of France. Iceland, a bit more tricky to get to, but yeah, those things, as I've said many times, I don't think about stuff like that because I can't afford it, so it's doing nothing but torturing myself or making myself want for something that I can't have, and I don't really do that.
No. Martin Lyles says, hey Spicy and Reno, hope you're both doing well. I was wondering if you've heard of the Helite turtleback airbag vest or similar things from Dainese, Alpine Star and others. My main question for both of you, if you were to answer to Reno, is what are your thoughts on upcoming tech in the world of riding? If you would look at getting tech like the airbag vests or smart helmets like Scully or stuff of that nature to make riding safer and more convenient? Much love and keep up the amazing videos.
The airbags, they're too expensive at this point for them to be for most riders. They seem to work well though, because MotoGP riders use them, or a similar form. I think you're talking about the ones that just expand on your back and basically protect your back. I've seen ones that go wrap around your head like a big thing, but I think that's going to be rather bulky when you're wearing it, and expensive. Scully helmets, that's just whatever, because Scully just basically doesn't exist. I don't think even the restart has worked. The idea of the heads-up display and that with the rear-facing camera, I was interested to try it, but I don't think that's going to take off hugely, because I just want to look. But like, I don't think integrated stuff is going to be a big thing. I think it's going to be more just accessories that you can put on your helmets. But there are currently some European regulations which are being looked at as to the extra damage you might sustain from having stuff stuck on your helmet, like if you had a GoPro or a Senior or something like that. But that was referring more to the stuff that you buy with, like, official stuff to go with helmets. Like if you had a helmet that said, oh, it has a modular system that you can plug in like a Senior that just fits into it. If that somehow makes the helmet less safe, it's something they're currently testing. But when it comes to sticking your own stuff on, it doesn't seem to be like it's affected. So I think it's going to probably stay in the third-party market, and you take the risk of sticking it on your helmet. So, but a lot of technology these days feels like it's trying to just be a thing to be a thing, rather than actually solving a problem. So I'd be interested to see some particular things people want me to ask, like, what do I think of that? But in general, that's what I think. I don't know if you've got anything to add to these. We're asking you.
I can't really add anything else to that. I kind of agree. Reese Edison says, hey Spicy and Reno, I know it's obviously more personal preference, but what's your opinion on getting a slightly older, cheaper bike as an A2 or A bike compared to some newer and more expensive? Old/cheap equals older than 2010, no more than 2,000 £2,000. New or expensive equals newer than 2011 and more than...
Can I just read that?
Yeah, there you go. It's a long question. There's brackets in there.
It's almost impossible to answer that question, because it depends what condition the bike is that you get. Like, a £2,000 second-hand bike could be an absolute shed or the best bargain you've ever seen. So it's almost impossible to answer that. However, I bought a 2007 DRZ 400 SM, and I've bought a 2010 Yamaha XJ6 that had 44,000 miles on the clock. I don't think buying old bikes is a problem. There is new rules possibly coming in to look at the way they do taxing, which means on vehicles which do with emissions. So if you have an older bike which puts out more emissions, you'll get taxed more. So a more modern bike being more efficient is better. It's the thing is, if a bike's 10 years old, you can still get every part that you'd ever need for it. The price will have come down somewhat, apart from the DRZ. You can't get anything for that in this country unless you have to go to America to get it. I'm still trying to get some plastics for it, and unless I want to buy them from America and pay twice as much, I'm not getting them. Twice as much because of the postage. So I think it's personal preference and very much depends on the two bikes that you're looking at. But either is a valid option. The newer one is possibly better because you are spending a bit more, but you're getting that much of a newer bike. So tricky. Very much that comes down to your personal preferences, as I think you said.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that as well. Sinshiro917 asks, hello Spicy and Reno, with electric motorcycles starting to make a larger appearance on the market, do you think that the lack of a clutch or similar easy to reach cut-off mechanism is a safety hazard, as even a small accidental blip of the throttle could cause a serious situation?
Scooters, Bergman 650s, bikes with automatic gearboxes,
they already
cars
exist.
with autos. It's no different. Also, they're not as much as the way they sell electric bikes is you have all the power instantly. You don't, because if you did and you open the throttle, the bike's just going to go whoop and flip upside down. It progressively comes in. So no, I don't think so. It will just be a change and people will get used to it.
I'll be sad. 4658 says, hey there you two, one for both of you here. What's your tipple of choice? Oh, drink. I think we both like the same drinks, don't we?
Basically, favourite choice is spiced rum. I'm a bit of a connoisseur, so I like lots of different ones. But from the cheap stuff, the best one is Bacardi spiced rum.
Yep.
Oak Heart, if you can get it.
Yeah, or the Kraken one, I like that.
Yeah, but that's like the most expensive.
Yeah, that's the most expensive. And then I also like Jack Daniels, and I also do like vodka.
I used to love Jack Daniels. I've gone off it a bit. I've gone off whiskies. I prefer rums now.
Yeah, very tasty. Timmy 1987 says, hi guys, I hope you're well. I'd like to know when we are getting the spicy bike meet. We already know you have a potential location. Got any more clues or an update? Thanks.
Basically not yet, because since last time I said that, I have been absolutely non-stop working on videos and getting stuff organised for what I'm trying to do this year. However, it'll obviously be in the summer. I've got to decide when that's going to be. One of the locations would require it to be outside of the children's holidays, opposed to the other one which wouldn't. So I normally give about 6 weeks notice of the meet, and I let you know as soon as I know. So if I'm not giving you an update, it's because there's nothing to tell you. Maybe it should be in September after the kids go back. Depends on the location. August, September probably, depending on location, is the plan.
MaClay says, hey guys, hope you're well. Do you have any tips for having to ride in harsh winds?
Loosey-goosey, stay loose,
Yep.
Don't try and fight it. Practice basically, but if you find that there are some scenarios where you're riding in high wind where there's nothing you can do about it and you get forced off the road into a wooden post. But basically, it's a case of go easy.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, if the wind's blowing really hard from one way and I know I've got to go through like a blowhole, where it's up between buildings, I'll put myself over so I've got space to get pushed across the road, opposed to being against that side of the road and getting pushed into a curb. Like, you kind of have to know your area and stuff, but otherwise it's just go careful.
And be aware if lorries and stuff go past, you're going to get there'll be nothing, and then suddenly, wha-bam!
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So be prepared for stuff like that.
Jack Martin Beals says, hey Spiceman and Miss Reena. I just bought a Suzuki GSX 125R second hand. I had my dad's work friend who rides bikes daily look over the bike and he said it's all good. But the last few days and weeks, the bars have been really stiff and difficult to move, and the tyres have began to chunk like old boots do at the sole when the sole is old. What tyre brands do you recommend for daily use? I don't want to get what I think is good and then pick something that is only good for dry conditions. I want something all weather. Hope you're keeping well.
Steering's become heavy is headstock bearings most likely. If you mean literally, it's hard to turn the bars side to side, that's your headstock bearings. If the tyres have started to chunk, you mean lumps coming out of them? I've never seen that happen, but basically most of the big brands are okay, but it's very specific on the bike you're after and the weight and all that sort of stuff. So the best thing you can do is go to a Facebook group for owners of that bike, or look online for people who've owned them and ask them who own the bike, because a tyre on one bike might be fantastic and the same tyre on another bike might not be very good.
Yeah.
And with different different riders and different weights. Waders.
Different waders.
Weighted riders.
Bruce Groom says, hi Spicy, best and worst thing about living on Hayling? Not the traffic, as we all know that can be painful.
Best thing is what it looks like in the summer when we go and walk down on the beach, and it's like perfectly still and everything's just quiet and it smells nice because of all the plants, you get to see fresh sea air and all that. Yeah. The worst part of it, other than what you've already stated, is all of the people that live here.
Wow. And how busy it gets in the summer.
I was making a joke. Oh. Don't ruin my timing.
Sorry.
It's because there's too many people here, generally. If you went by what the local Facebook groups are like, you would not want to live here. But I live in the imagination of that's not what most of the people here are like. But they can be very annoying and just...
Burton 30 says, what's the origin of the name Spicy?
Simply, and this is a great reason to have a name that you've been now called for years, I was trying to make a Yahoo email address in about 2000 and, oh God, a long time ago. And all the combinations of stuff I was putting in weren't available. And I was eating a spicy chicken slice at the time. And I was like, I put in something that was related to chicken and spice. And I ended up with that email address, and I used that email address for a while and then stopped using it. However, when I set up my YouTube account, I originally used that email address, and I didn't care what my name was, really. I just wanted to be able to post comments and subscribe to people and stuff like that. So it automatically suggested from my email address, Spicy, and then a set of different numbers, and I just went, 110, and clicked on it. There was zero thought put into that. And then for, 10 years now, and ever I go, people call me Spicy. I get called Spicy more than I get called my real name, which I'm quite glad about, because I really don't like my real name. But, I can't, like, was it yesterday, we walked in the local shop, a couple of miles down the road from where we live, and someone went, Spicy, are you a YouTuber? And I was like, maybe, and then carried on doing my thing. I can't, like, local shop, I can't even go to, and I'm like, Spicy, and I'm like, I don't even eat spicy chicken slices anymore.
Oh.
I could have said something cool. I could have made up another story, like some cool reason I was called Spicy.
I got to choose my name, at least. Andrew Spears says, hi Spicy and Reno. I know you both live with anxiety/depression, as do I. I often find that going for a drive helps. Do you both find it helps too? We all need to look after our mental health, and thank you both for your entertaining channels. You're welcome.
100,000,000% yes.
Yeah.
Motorcycles are rideable antidepressants. I've made videos talking about, like, I think I've called it like a rideable antidepressant or something like that. It's a lot of people who ride bikes find it helps their mental health issues, because I think what it is because you cannot concentrate on anything else other than doing what you're doing. So it removes you from that, and that's part of the reason that I really like being a sort of a loner biker, as it were, because I can really get lost in just concentrating on the road and just going for a nice long ride. Like, if I really want to get away from things and chill out, no cameras, none of that, I put some music on my headset and just go for a long ride, and normally not very fast or anything like that, just go for a long cruise, and yeah. So yes, I agree. Yeah. As will many others.
And I'm exactly the same. Mefesto says, what was the most expensive cheese you have eaten, and would you stuff it in a cheese and egg sandwich?
This is the sort of question I like.
Cheese and egg sandwich.
Most expensive cheese I've eaten, I'm not sure. Probably some really, like, some fancy cheddar or something from some farmer's market. I mean, not some really high-end stuff or something, but just, probably quite expensive that way. Would I put it in a sandwich? Of course.
Would you put it in a cheese and egg sandwich?
Oh, cheese and egg?
Yeah.
No, cheese and ham.
Egg
and cheese, no.
Yeah, but egg and cheese goes in, like, egg cheese burgers.
I don't eat these. I do not want these. In a cheese and ham sandwich, yes. By the way, the reason cheese and ham, I discovered this, is so good is because basically cheese and ham both have types of umami. Umami is a flavour that's one of the, it's about the sixth, it's like the sixth flavour or whatever it is. It's to do with meat. And basically when the cheese and the ham, their umamis get together, it makes some like complex umami, and it's like, that's why cheese and ham sandwiches are so good. So.
Lewis says, I don't know if you've ridden one, but would you say the YZF-R 125 is a good bike for a new rider?
Not ridden one. Personally, my opinion is that bike is too expensive.
Yeah.
You are most likely going to crash it when you get a new bike. Most people have a crash or two. If you do that on a cheaper bike, it might cost you a couple of £100. You do it on that bike, it's going to cost you an awful lot more.
Yeah.
Your insurance will be more. I'm not hating on the bike. If someone, even if someone on a full A license was like, I want to get one of those bikes, I'm sure they are great. I just think that it's, you should get maybe a second-hand beaten-up bike as your very first bike, or a cheap bike, which is why I am a proponent of Chinese bikes. But if money's not an option to you, then yeah, it's a fantastic bike. But the simple truth is, whenever anyone ever says, is a 125 a good, is it a good stuff? All 125s basically perform the same way. They're pretty much all the same, and you can use, they'll be perfect for everyone. It's more about what you want, your budget, and as I say, you need to be realistic about the fact that if you drop it, you have to fix it. Or crash it.
Richard Groves says, Hola, you two. Hope you're both well. If not, a little windswept, I assume.
We were. We just got back from the,
We
from the
did.
shop
Oh my
and we were
God.
like getting blown down the road.
The shop. I had like a kite in my hand, which was the shopping.
It was a pizza, but
Do you know what the average age of your subscribers is?
yes. The biggest age group is, well, average is difficult because I'd have to add them all together. I don't have the information, but the largest proponent is between 24 and 35. Basically, like the 13 to 16 range is like almost non-existent. 17 onwards bits, there's some, but it's mostly, as I say, the 25 to 35 range, weighted more towards the older. I recently talked about, I think I actually even said the exact range, was it?
I'm sure you have.
I have
done
in some
before,
video.
yeah.
Can anyone remember what video that is and say the title? Don't bother posting the link because the spam filter will automatically kick it out.
Adam Weeks says, "Hi Spicy and Reno, hope you are both doing well and coping well through the stormy weather. Spicy, this is a question for you. Would you be doing the featured channel thing again? As I would love to get a couple more views on my Coastal Rider channel."
Honestly, no. The reason why I won't be doing it anymore is because it became very apparent that people who didn't even have anything to do with my channel or anything like that were using it as it got round basically. Oh, this YouTuber with the big channel is basically letting anyone have a shout out. It also caused a lot of, well, I didn't get so many sales because it got in the way between my video ending and the cards at the end to remind people to do things for me, like watch other videos, subscribe, buy stuff from my merch stores and all that. So I did it for a while to help people, and I think I've possibly done more than most of the UK vloggers as it comes to helping, or motor vloggers in general, as it comes to helping small channels, like all the things. By the way, the nuts, no idea where they are. Last place they were left, as far as I know, is where they are. I don't know if anyone's even looked for them since. Lots of people have asked, not a clue. But now I'm trying to like push the videos to the best quality I can. I really don't think it fits in. I have a video called Give Yourself a Shout Out, which is where people can go there and find new channels and give themselves a shout out, but obviously that didn't really work. The whole idea of that I thought would be cool is if every motovlogger made a video called Give Yourself a Shout Out, even the big guys, takes 2 minutes to do it, and then people who are motovloggers can comment in there and you can find each other and it helped build, you know, relationships between people. I did the video thinking, oh, this is one of those things that everyone's like, that's a great idea, and no one else did it. So yeah, I've tried. I do what I can where I can. On social media I don't mind sharing videos occasionally. But as you can imagine, there is always a million people wanting me to do this, and yeah, after a while, it just gets a bit too much. I hope you understand my reasoning as to why I stopped doing that.
Luke Francis asks, "Sausage Fest this year, maybe? And bread is square, right? Then why is sandwich meat always round?"
Sausage Fest we've already talked about. Bread is not quite square, it's slightly off square, but the answer to this is, the reason it's round is because what you're supposed to do is chop it down the middle, so you got the two semicircles like that, then you cross them over that way so you get the flat edges on the edge of the sandwich, and then when you cut it through the diagonal, you get the meat within the sandwich more than you get. Trust me, cut the meat circle in half, then put the straight edge to the straight edge, and then the semicircles will overlap in the middle. When you chop that on a diagonal, it will work better.
It just seems more logical to make it square. That's too much effort. Or just put loads of...
Billy Bear's bear-shaped.
Yeah, buy
Billy Bear is
buy
bitching.
Billy Bears.
Buy me some Billy Bear, you bastard.
Mr. Grey Knight says...
Oh, don't, I just thought, join my Patreon, and I was like, what's a Patreon? It's like, oh.
Oh, God, it sounds...
Yes, it doesn't sound good,
no,
does it? Anyway,
doesn't.
next question.
Mr. Grey Knight says, "Probably just missed it, but what happened with the P.O. box?"
That is a 40-minute video. It got closed because I don't need it anymore and it was way too expensive. It's like £360 a year. If you want to know the full answer, you're going to need to go and watch my video talking about the called Past Problem Future as to why I'm not doing the metalworks and why I don't have the PO box.
James the Naked Snake, he's back asking more than one question, says, "If you were told to design your own motorcycle with help where required, what would it be? What features would it have? What would certain parts be made of? And who would it be marketed for? Yourself or for a spot in the market, and why?"
That's That's a massive question. I'm not going to really try and answer all that. Simply, a large CC'd supermoto which is comfortable to use on the motorway.
Yep.
And before you say, oh, the Husqvarna 701, the KTM 690, I don't like them that much. I don't like the seating positions. I don't like the way the engines feel. That is not, it's just personal preference. I'd prefer, for comfort, basically like the DRZ, but capable of doing 70 miles an hour comfortably, and having 6th gear and stuff like that. But I'd also want to modernise it with other stuff, and I'd want to make it as light as you possibly could. And I'd want to have some smart features to it. That's like a video of its own, or giving people ideas they'll then use and run off and make millions. Or not.
Neil Blomfield says, hi Spicy and Reno, what's the furthest distance you have rode and the biggest group you have rode with, and have you considered a spicy tour around England where fellow enthusiasts may join in part or fully, with maybe a rally at its peak?
Furthest distance I've rode is probably, I don't know, about 300 miles in a day, something like that. Yours is probably 100 miles or so,
probably, yeah,
something like that. As for the group riding, the biggest group I've led was about 46, 47 people. It was one of the early meets where I actually did group rides. It was a nightmare, and that is the reason why, no, I will not be doing tours where people can join with me. The reality of it is this: yes, some people will join, ride, be normal, blah, blah, blah. The reality is people will join and try and prove themselves in front of camera. You see this a lot in America. I mean, I said years ago, when I got to 46, I went, I'm not doing group rides anymore. That's why the meets were held in car parks. America was doing the group rides. It got bigger and bigger and bigger. And every single one of those rides, there's crashes, there's been really serious crashes, there's problems with the police, there's people. It's just an absolute shit show. So that's why, no. I mean, it would be nice if I could, invite 5 people, but then everyone else is like, well, why can't I come?
Yeah.
So then you'd have to, well, the short answer is charging people to go on tours. But then what am I going to tour people around? I live in this area and I'm a hermit. I can tour you around the island if you want. Do you want to come to hailing? I have hailing tours. It'll last about an hour and be boring as hell.
I think the biggest group ride I've ridden in was Remembrance Day group ride. There was hundreds of people there.
I suppose technically I've ridden amongst people going to the Brighton Burn Up, and then there was just hundreds and hundreds.
Oh yeah,
and
imagine
hundreds,
that would be, yeah.
But no, as an actual sort of group ride that you are moving as a group ride rather than just people going to a place. Yeah.
Reese Overthrow says, hi Spicy, got a problem with my fuel on the CBR 125. I have had the carb cleaned and no go. Also changed the fuel filter, still no go. Should I change the fuel pump and lines next?
Has it got spark? Why is it not running? Is it the fuel that's the problem? Is the fuel getting through? If there's fuel in the carb, if there's actually if the carb's refilled itself, then you know there's fuel getting in there. Yes, you can go down the other lines of checking the pump and all that while replacing. You want to check that if they're working or not first. Very difficult to answer that question, I'm afraid, because I can't be there. It could be fuel. It might not be fuel. I'm assuming it is fuel because you seem quite sure of that. So don't know. But I wouldn't go down the line of replacing parts to work out if it's the problem. Find the problem part first, if you can.
RevBomb is asking a question that's already been mentioned, which is motovlogger meet for all the vloggers, which relates to the sausage event. We've already answered that. Nathan says, hi there, Spicy and Reno. Real easy one for you. Your steak, how do you like it cooked, and what's on the plate with it? Random, I know, but why not?
I don't really eat steak that much these days because, I used to have, I do have IBS and I wasn't able to eat red meat before. I did, I loved it, and then I couldn't because of my IBS, but now I've been able to eat some red meat. We have been tempted quite recently to maybe get a steak, but I'm like, well, do I really want to get sick after this? The answer though, how I would cook it is, just beyond blue into medium rare. No, it has to be, it's probably technically a very blue medium rare, if you know what I mean. But that's the best way to cook steak. Anything beyond medium rare is ruining the steak. Alright, maybe into medium just as long as it's still pink. Anything beyond that, well done, very well done, or BTF. which in chef terms means burnt to fuck. No, you're ruining a steak.
I don't.
Unless it's gammon. Gammon,
Yes.
if you BTF gammon, that is super tasty. It turns into like jerky.
I don't really eat steak that often, and I used to eat it well done because I didn't know how I liked steak and I didn't know what I would get it as, and I get scared in restaurants. But I think I have eaten steak medium. I'm not sure. I would probably enjoy it that way. I don't know. I'd have to try it.
And have some stuff on the plate: potatoes or chips and veg.
Yes.
No peppercorn sauce or any of that crap.
An egg?
Not with a steak.
I don't know how it works.
Tomato maybe.
No. No
Fine.
tomatoes for me.
The tomatoes though wouldn't be that horrible crappy thing you get, you know, with most places. Half a normal tomato just like
Big
seared for a
floppy
second.
thing.
No. You want grilled balsamic vinegar and sugar coated cherry tomatoes.
Mark Lally says, "Hi Spicy, I've been riding 125cc bikes on and off for over 10 years, and now I'm in a position to do my full test. My question to you is, do you recommend having lessons, and if so, how many, or just go straight for my test? I ride daily in all weather and regularly practice slow speed manoeuvring if this helps."
On a 125, you have never ridden a bike that weighs or handles or controls or brakes or does anything like something that's bigger. You could try, you will probably fail.
Yeah.
So it would probably be cheaper in the long run to just go and do a 3-day course. If you're that good, when you get to do the test, you won't need as many days and they won't charge you as much. When I went to do my test, he was like, right, I need to see how you are on the bike. He said, okay, jump on the bike, go and ride it around a little bit. And he was like, okay, you seem to be... Like, this was in the course of 5 minutes. He went, run around a bit. Okay, you seem fine. Do the slalom, do a turn in the road, do this. And he just went, right, do emergency stop. Right, we're going out on the road.
Yeah.
5 minutes, literally. But that's because for some reason I naturally was able to pick up the bike. If you can't do that, then you won't be able to just pass your test by jumping on a bike anyway. So it's probably worth getting the assessment to see how much training you'll need if they think you need it. Basically, speak to a good school. The other problem is you haven't got a bike to take the test on. So to get a bike to take the test on, you'll need to get a bike from a training school, and then you'll have to pay for them to be there for the day to lend you the bike.
Yeah.
So you're basically paying for 1 day of the 3 days training anyway, so you might as well just do it.
Yeah, I would. This is the last question from Jake Francis, who says, "Hiya Spicy, would you say covering longer distances on 125s is doable? I say 80 miles there and 80 miles back a day or two later."
You can go any distance on a 125. The only limiting factor is how fast you're going.
Yeah.
If you sit at 45, 50 on most 125s, it will do that all day, every day for months on end. Like, people have crossed the world on 125s. Don't forget what people have done on like C90s. As long as you don't, this is the thing, 125s will last for an age, but you ride them flat out constantly just to keep up with the traffic around you. If the roads weren't the way they are, but people probably might not do that. I don't know. No, people go fast anyway. But yes, long distance not a problem as long as you try to keep off motorways because you can't cruise at 70 too easily. Yes, there are 125s that can do that, but there's still a higher up in the rev range, and we're talking long distance here. So yes, but use the right roads and don't go too fast and enjoy the ride.
Yep.
And take plenty of cheese.
Lots of cheese and lots of biscuits, so you can have cheese biscuits and crackers. Oh, crackers and cheese.
Okay, can you tell it's nearly dinner time? Huge thanks to my patron supporters. Looking at the video length on the recording, this might be a bit longer than I was planning still, but whatever. As I say, huge thank you to patron supporters. Thank you to Reena for answering the questions. And God, I just blinded myself looking into that light.
Thank you.
If you'd like to ask a question in one of these videos, join my Patreon, and there'll be a post there for the current month that you can post your question in, and it'll get answered in next month's Q&A. I have realised as I get more people on board with the Q&As, we get about 30 questions on average, and it's getting the videos to nearly an hour. I don't know what to do about that, because I never wanted to create extra tiers, but it almost would make sense to have more tiers, like if you want to answer the Q&A, but then I don't ever want to do that. So we might have to be selective in the future and pick questions rather than answering all of them like we do at the moment.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's the thing. I want to get more people on Patreon, so this is a problem I'm going to cause. We'll work it out. Anyway, let's go and have some food.
Foods.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to see future videos. This channel is made possible by the support of the audience. Please consider joining my Patreon to get early access to videos, questions answered in the monthly Q&A, your name on screen, and some exclusive content, all for as little as $1 a month. You can also check out the links in the description to my merch and other ways to directly support the channel. Thanks for watching.